We're live on Facebook.
Yeah.
We're there.
Cool. Now.
Awesome. Well, good to see you, Rick. How's your day been?
Man, I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Man, things are well. I'm excited about us connecting again, being able to share, to empower, to enlighten, to inspire so many people across this platform. It's a good day to be free, good day to be alive. So excited about what we're going to be able to share, how we're going to be able to help people. For those that are tuning in and coming in, welcome. Glad to see you all. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. There's so many options. Everybody's going live, Rick.
Right.
So, people have so many options, but I'm honored that they would take time to connect with us.
Exactly.
On these weekly bases to get informed, to get empowered, to share insight and information. This is, just in case you don't know what you're watching, Revolution will not be televised. It will be streamed. And hopefully you've caught on to what we're talking about, because things are shifting, things are changing, and we're just simply trying to serve as a point of enlightenment as this shift takes place, to encourage you, to inform you, to keep you up to speed, to challenge you even, to be the best that you can be in these difficult for some and trying times for others. So I want to welcome you to this stream of the Revolution. Will not be televised, it will be streamed. This is a conversation about leadership and life in this digital world. Who is this focused at? Who's our target market? Pastors, entrepreneurs, consultants, digital content creators, social media influencers, corporate executives, lottie-dottie, everybody, educators. Just if you have influence and impact on somebody's life, you need to be tuned into this. Everybody has leadership in them. Now, the level of which is developed, that's individual, but everybody is a leader because we all have influence over somebody or something. If you tell your dog to sit and your dog sits, you're a leader. And so it's really just about influence. I'm StephenThurston. I'm joined by my co-host, and we don't
Dr. RickyAllmon.
In that sense of, we just together, we just brothers.
Yeah, that's it.
We're collaborators.
Right.
And so we come here just to show our knowledge, share our knowledge, our wisdom, our insight from years of pastoring, years of consulting, years of being around church, behind the scenes, seeing the good, bad, and the ugly,
right,
in the corporate space, in the entrepreneurial space. So we're just downloading to you all that we have to empower you and to encourage you. We always want to pause, as we do week after week, to say a special thank you to all of the first responders, those in the medical profession, law enforcement, our government officials, our pastors, our leaders around the globe, who are doing what's needful and necessary, especially in this time, to make things a little smoother for people, to help people to understand what their priorities are, to help people to provide structure for the lives of people as we move through this space and this place. We started out this series entitling it All In. Yes. So just in case you missed what I just said, series, that means it's going to be a whole lot more content coming to you on a regular basis. We want you to not only catch us here, but more importantly, join our group. Rick, you want to say just a little bit about the group?
Actually, I was going to ask you a question. So I know we've gotten responses from those that are connected to us in various ways. What are some of the responses you've been getting and evaluations you've been getting about the content that we've been sharing, as well as from those who are connecting with the group? I'm reversing the question back to you. What have people been saying? And then what would be the benefits of individuals joining the group? Stephen just mentioned you need to join our group right now. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to add the group to my Facebook now of this live. So if you look at the caption, you're going to see a link coming there for the group. So while you're watching the conversation, go ahead and join the group, because we've got something to tell you that's going to happen at the end, that you've got to be a part of the group to be connected to it. So Stephen, what are some of the things that you're hearing people say about this conversation? This is episode 5, man.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? And so what are people saying about it? How are they benefiting from it? And then what will be some of the benefits of individuals being a part of our Facebook group? The Revolution will not be televised, it will be streamed. While he's talking, I'm going to put this link here on my live caption.
Cool, man. And please share it to my page, Rick.
I will.
So I don't have to pause and jump on Facebook.
I got you.
Thank you, sir. So the feedback that I've been getting is that what we offer has been substantive. I think, again, as I mentioned before, a lot of people are going live And some people are going live just to go live. They're not going live with a purpose. We've got purpose behind what we're doing. So we're sharing substantive information that people can like plug and play. They can take the tools and the tips that we're sharing and immediately apply them to the various aspects of leadership that they engage in. So that's been the top piece of report that I've gotten back. They enjoy the engagement. It's natural. It's flowing. It's not contrived. We're not trying to be something that we're not. We're not talking about stuff that we haven't experienced. This is live experience that's flowing through us to impact, to influence those who are listening. And I'm getting feedback from people from the full age range spectrum.
Now, I think that's critical.
Yeah.
So from what age to what age?
From, the 20 somethings all the way up to the like mid 60s. Those senior pastors that are, kind of feeling their way through this new space that we're in. They're listening to what we're saying. They're reaching out. They're hitting me in the IM and the DM and the email and the text. Hey, man, that was good. Can you watch my live and tell me what I need to touch up on?
Right.
So it's encouraging that reverse mentoring is now taking place. And even those who aren't reaching out, they're still listening to what we're saying, and they're going and working and tweaking and trying to change what they do to enhance what they do. So I think people are seeing the full value that we're adding to their lives, to their experience, to their professional lives even, and they're loving it. And so I'm glad that we're doing it, and we're going to keep doing it. And it's special. It's important that you connect with the group, because in a minute, some real good content. If you think this is good, some real good stuff is going to be coming through that.
Oh, group. we got something for you. We got something for you. I promise you that. We got some coming. So listen, you need to join the Facebook group. Here is why. Because you'll connect with like-minded professionals, leaders, pastors, entrepreneurs, corporate executives, digital content creators, social media influencers, and thinkers. But the purpose of this is to help you maximize your potential, mobilize your purpose, and multiply your possibilities. Like, we're clear on our message. We want you to maximize everything that's within you. We want you to mobilize everything you put your hand to, any dream you have in your life. So Stephen and I and our guest co-host, we've got one that's going to come on today. We're dream weavers. We'll help you to see you like that, Stephen? We'll help you to see a manifestation of what's in you. And then we want you to multiply the possibilities that you have so that you can look like your future. So you can look like your dreams, look like everything. So give us a quick review before we bring on our guest co-host, Stephen. Give us a quick review of last week when we were talking about authentic friendship, the anatomy of authentic friendship. Give us a quick recap, and then we'll bring our guest co-host in. Y'all get ready. Listen, go ahead and share this on your timeline. Start a watch party. You do not want to miss this conversation today. And you want to be able to go back and have your own conversation with your own village, which is something we're going to talk about today. So go ahead and share it now. Text somebody now. Tell them if they're on Facebook to come on and jump into this conversation, or go to your page and watch it live. But start a watch party now. This is for a leader. Stephen just said it. If you got a goldfish you got to feed, you're a leader. So this is for every person who's ready to maximize their potential, mobilize their purpose, multiply possibilities. Give us a quick recap, Stephen, from last week.
Yeah, man. So last week we dove in and talked about the anatomy of friendship. What does that look like? Because many people are in situationships and not relationships.
Say that again.
Many people are in situationships rather than relationships. So we helped you to discern some of those things. Let me give you a quick running definition or juxtaposition between those two terms. A situationship boils down to selfishness because it's all about me. A relationship has mutuality built into it. There's mutual benefit. So an example, I do consulting work. I go, I lead, I teach, I train, I develop leaders. And so I give content. They give back to me a check that's going to clear. And so there's mutuality there. If I just gave the content and they didn't give me a check, that will be a situationship and not a relationship.
Right.
And so we have to be adding to each other. So we challenged you last week to evaluate, to ask some questions. to make sure at least at the core value place and basis, there's connection between you and people that you're in relationship so that you're growing together. You're adding to each other's lives. You're adding value. So we challenge you in those ways to check your circle and stop carrying dead weight. There's a need for necessary endings in some relationships. Some people can't go where you're trying to go. They can't breathe at the same atmospheric level that you're able to breathe at. Exactly. And so why are you dragging all of that? There's got to be collaboration. There's got to be communion. There's got to be connection. It's got to be authentic. It's got to have purpose behind you coming together. And so that's the quick review of what we discussed last week.
If you want more of that, go back and watch episode 4.
Yeah,
so
go back.
That was just the commercial. Go back to episode 4. So Stephen, I'm excited about our guest co-host. You and I have a coterie of amazing friends.
Yes, sir.
And some of the most innovative, creative minds literally across the globe. And so we've got one of them with us today. His name is Dr. JermoneGlenn. He's a husband. He's a father of 3. He's a pastor. He's an author. He's a digital content creator. He's a social media influencer. I consider him a friend. I'm getting ready to invite him in the room. So I want you all to join me. I hear the virtual hand claps right now. So join me in welcoming JermoneGlenn into the room. He should be coming in now. So Jermone, are you here?
I am here. What up, my brother?
Hey, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Y'all good?
I don't want to put you on blast, but you do have a birthday coming. I'm going to just let people think you're 27.
Thank you. I
wink,
appreciate
wink.
it.
That's all I'm going to say.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but I'm excited about our virtual celebration. So,
yeah, man.
But good to see you. Stephen, you and I were talking about this subject and what we wanted to deal with. Last week, we dealt with the anatomy of authentic friendship. And it's exciting when you can have these conversations with authentic friends.
Right.
and real brothers. And so what you all are seeing here is organic. Like it's live every day. This is not something that we're doing for the gram or doing for media. This is actually our lives, our reality. And so we talked about the anatomy of authentic friendship. This week, we want to deal with building a virtual village. And so we thought it would be great to bring Dr. Glenn on to talk about this. Stephen, let's shape what it is that Dr. Glenn is going to be addressing, and let's talk about why it's so important, and then we'll give the floor to Dr. Glenn.
Great, man. So I was reflecting upon this, and I thought about my childhood. Well, one of my favorite shows to watch was Sesame Street. And here I stand, I'm 41 now. And there's still a ringing question in my mind. That question is, can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? And I want to go back to Sesame Street because I've got some questions for Bert and Ernie and Cookie Monster and Grover and Maria, all of them. I want to know why after 40-something years, Oscar the Grouch is still living in the trash can.
Wow.
Sesame Street was supposed to be a place of employment, empowerment, encouragement, but yet this character has lived in the garbage can, in trash, in dearth and dark for 40-something years. Nobody had enough sense to pull their brother out of trash and put him in a better place, in a place that was positioned for learning and growing. And so when I think about that, I have to consider our community, our connectivity, and wonder why so many people are dealing with waste management issues. And if it takes a village to raise a child, it also takes a virtual village in the space that we're in to raise, to nurture, to encourage, and to empower each other. So Dr. Glenn, if you could tag into that.
I don't want to touch that. That was profound. I'm gonna leave that right where it was. Answer the question, sir. That's what I want to know. Another question.
Help us understand some of the challenges connected with being isolated, but being connected, but being lonely in the midst of being connected. Can you break some of that down for us?
I mean, so profound of a thought and a great question. Again, thank you guys for inviting me on. You guys have been killing it weeks after week, talking about this and expanding minds as we explore possibilities. If I'm answering truthfully on the fly, based on your analogy, I think that they probably left him in the trash can because they thought that's where he wanted to be. I think that perhaps they never asked him the question, did he want better? If it was more, if there was something else to his life. I think that people have a tendency to leave you. Some people leave you where they meet you, because in most instances they think that that's where you're most comfortable. So I think they went on with their lives and knew always where to find him, that they would find him exactly where they met him, and that he would always be there doing exactly what he was doing because it was his choice. And while sometimes it is people's choice to be where they are, oftentimes it's not their choice. They just don't know better and never met anyone to help them get out of their situation or ask them the provocative questions, as you just did, that provokes them to think, is there a place beyond this can? Is there a place beyond this limitation that I found myself in? And how can I then too include and enjoy in all the songs and the festivities that's going on Sesame Street? You know what I'm saying? So,
Jay, you said something that begs a question, and that is, I thought about this when we came into this quarantine, and even before they issued the stay-in-place orders around the country. You know, they're telling people to limit their gathering and to have physical distancing. And one of the things that I thought about, and what you said begs this question, I was thinking about the fact that humans have had to tell other humans how to be human or show humanity.
Right.
So the question is, to your observation, why is it? What is it about our culture and society that causes us to leave people where they are when we know there's more for them? I mean, what is it in our disposition that would cause people to say, okay, I see where you can go, but I'm gonna just leave you there because I ain't got the time. What is it that causes that?
Bro, and with your genius mind, I know this is a rhetorical question, but I'll play along. The truth is that I think it's mostly because we probably lean into the old adage, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink.
Right.
So while we can always beg to deal with the potential of any individual and see that there's always beyond, I don't think that we want to invest the time, the energy into people to help them get out. I don't know that people are always willing to tap into the work that it may take for them to explore beyond. You know what I'm saying? We by nature are creatures of habit, right. And we've all become who we are because of the great people that God has blessed and put into our lives, including ourselves here, but also the people that have matured us. But everyone that mentored us, touched us, laid hands on us, spoke a word to our life, it came with the requirement of us to do our part. You know what I'm saying? Jesus stepped to the shore and started calling people out of where they were, going, hey, you know, if you want to be with me, then you got to follow me. I don't got no trucks. I don't got no vans. I don't got no boats. I don't got no crib. You're going to have to walk. You're going to have to walk. You're going to have to carry your cross. You're going to have to hold your own. I'm going to teach you a few things, but it's going to require you to leave this comfort zone. He saw that they could be more, but I don't think that they had to have an appetite. So you and I always talk about there's a difference when it comes to aptitude. I don't think that appetite and that aptitude is always warranted for people to get gritty and involved. And it requires work. No matter what I see for your life, you have to have a hunger. You have to have a desire or at least a buy-in to participate.
You have to want to get out the garbage can.
Yeah, exactly. You got to want to. Yeah, I mean, even religion, religion puts you in this space where you're like always thinking God's going to do it, God's going to do it, God's going to do it. And we don't realize how much God is in partnership with man saying, hey, I've already done a bunch and it's time for you to do some stuff with it. Instead, we rather just sit there and say Jesus is going to work it out, when in fact he's like, I already did. So
right.
Yeah.
That was good. So man, take us into this, dealing with this being isolated.
Take us into it. We already in.
But take us deeper. First of all,
you even talking about Sesame Street. He's talking about Sesame Street, and you talking about why don't we touch people? I mean,
sociological construct.
Yeah, what do you want me to do? You know, I'm out. Bye. Thank you, everybody, for letting me be here.
Look, it takes geniuses to recognize a genius, and it takes a genius to know other geniuses. So, sir, I'm gonna just call this the company of geniuses.
All right.
And that's speaking to both you and Stephen.
Well, I wore my white shirt then too.
I see. Right, exactly. So take us deeper is what I'm saying, brother Dr. Genius. Take us deeper into this, in this concept of isolate, because it's amazing. You got people watching this right now that are more sequestered by the thoughts in their head than the confines of their living room.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? I was literally on a call. There's somebody that has been calling me almost every day during this quarantine that my wife and I have been ministering to literally almost on a daily basis because they can't get out of their head.
Yeah, wow.
And that is a real issue. Got great people around them, but can't get out of their head. So talk to us about this issue of isolation, particularly with families. You and your wife have been doing an amazing job speaking to families and the marriage construct and that virtual village or physical village. Let's talk about this a little deeper.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you said a lot right there. The monsters in our head is our greatest, the greatest thing that's hindering us from reaching out. I mean, I admire whoever this is. And of course you and Demi for walking them through the process, but for them reaching out, you know what I'm saying? Because some people don't reach out. They just sit in whatever they're in and let the warfare that goes on in their mind. Man, God did not make us to be isolated. You know, it is not good that man should be alone. He clearly, emphatically stated that. And that's just not for the wife. Of course, when you find your wife for life, I mean, that makes it all better. But it is just human connection and just purpose being interdependent and not independent of itself. And that we're all better together. We're all stronger together. And the body of Christ is this kaleidoscope of ideas and personalities and purposes that come together to function in a stronger way. And so the family unit is just the first model of that. I mean, you come from a strong, 13 strong, you know, Stephen, I'm not sure of your lineage, but I know of your last name, so I know your family lineage is strong. I don't know about your siblings, but I know you come from a tribe, come from a village. You know, me and my wife, we come from a strong unit, and we have a strong unit in our house. And so we are in this process of just in development. Everybody's in this role of personal development. I'm in personal development. She's in personal development. We're in personal development with our children. Our children are from the age of 19 to 10. So they're in different phases of their life. Jonathan and Monet probably will benefit the most from this in this regard because it's a disruption in traditional education in school, which is something that you and I have talked about long time ago. And then when we went to go visit your brother in Louisiana, kind of got a confirmation. My wife and I get pushed to have courage about homeschooling and what is their real digestion of what they should have. And so this opens us up to this possibility. Our 19-year-old who is in college, who we're just having a conversation about traditional education before all this broke out and how it plays into the role of what he wants to do. And so we're all in personal development, sharpening each other and really hunkering down, not just now talking about the stuff that we talked about before, but we sitting up here facing it head on. And you know what I'm saying? And having to like roll our sleeves up and go, yo, when this is over, what is our family unit going to look like? And so it's God's like opportunity to restore Eden in our homes, you know what I'm saying? And just say, hey, back to the garden, back to Eden. What streams is flowing out of your house? What human capital do you possess? What's in your bloodline and your genealogy, talent, skill set, gifts, and abilities that need to be harvested right in your home? And how do you then get those things trained and groomed in this time period? So when you come out on the other side, you are in a better place. Yeah.
So to that point of training the tribe, right?
Yeah.
what are some, because here's the reality. The reality is virtual is reality.
It is.
I mean, there was a time we talked about VR and virtual reality, and it was an extension of reality.
No, this is
now
real.
Virtual is reality. I mean, look
Yeah.
at what we're doing now. Normally we'd be in a building somewhere having a conference or a retreat now this is everything. This is the platform. This is the channel.
Yeah.
So what are some of the unique challenges when you're trying to, even though they're living in your house, the tools you're using, most of them are virtual tools.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges with that? How do you establish new norms?
Yeah.
Because now you can't say the word normal without new. Who would have thought?
Exactly.
We think normal, we thought about traditions. No, now if you're going to say normal, you have to put new in front of it. And then I think the biggest piece, and this is where you can spend the most time because it's what you're speaking to, creating a collaborative vision for the family village, yes, where everybody gets to, parents is no longer just what you think the family ought to be. Listen, the folk in your house gonna be around you for a little while, 24/7.
Yeah.
You got to give them a voice in this. And so let's talk about that, Jay, the challenges of it, establishing the new norms in it, and then creating that collaborative vision for it.
Great question, man. I think the challenges of it is repurposing the tool. So because the technology that they used was an escape, a break from after school, from work, from doing homework, a chance to catch up with their friends that they don't go to school with, right? So that's when they picked up their toys, their technology, to connect with their friends that live outside of what they normally see. And so now, when you have to take the same tools that they're used to playing with and show them how it's a resource, you know what I'm saying? Showing them how now, no, it's information in here. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I know Netflix, you enjoy movies, but let me show you some documentaries that's in there also. And so now trying to train them to see how the things that they used as a toy is now a tool. Yes. And without them resenting you for turning their toy into a tool. because I think that's part of our challenge right now is them not resenting us for, and they're not, because we're, again, to your last part of the conversation, we're exploring their curiosities. Right. And then with their curiosities, we're showing them when they ask a question, how Google is more than just for whatever it was for, and so forth and so on. So I think that's how we do that. In our family, we've always had a family plan, a family vision that's been inclusive to line up with their gifts and talents. So we sit around the living room and talk about like what they want to do, who they want to be. We tell them church is an expression of how this household expresses our passion to the world, but media, arts, and communication is really our wheelhouse. Church is just the platform, the tool that we use to provoke the message of the kingdom of God on that platform in that way. And so we tell them, hey, you don't have to be preachers, you don't have to do it this way, but communication, media, arts, and entertainment that will bring glory to God will be the method or the medium. Now, how we express that, we can figure that out collectively. Right. And so as we start talking about that as a family unit, then they start to chime in what they're interested in and what they're curious about. And then we try to tool them for skills to give them opportunity to train in that area, because again, they live in a house with people who professionally coach people in these areas, who professionally lead people and help startups happen. So, I mean, I'm grateful for all the people that I coach and help start up, but man, nothing would be greater than to help my children start their own thing right in this context, and then help them see how it functions in the family corporation. And so we've been having these conversations while both trying to turn their toy into a tool, and it's been quite an exciting time, but it's prevented some real challenges, because children are children for a reason. They lack self-discipline. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that prefrontal cortex has not
It's not there.
You're shaping it. It's like a Jerry curl without the activator.
Right. It's not quite there. And so while they're curious and in theory they're interested, but when it comes to work, do the work to do it, then it requires a discipline, which then can sometimes feel demanding. So my wife and I are learning how to coach them like our children, not like our clients, right? Because when you're our clients, then we can be a little more aggressive. You pay for this, you ask for this. When you're our children, we have to coach them in a different way.
So how are you doing that? What does that look like? Because there are parents watching this, grandparents watching this. What does that engagement look like? And then what are some of the innovative ways you're transforming their toys and the tools? So what is your method of engagement, and then what is it that you're doing with them or helping them to see in the tools they already have? Got you.
So good. So Glenn Nation is pretty strong. They're solid. They're a solid crew. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we start off in our methodology, and they may be watching now, so I have to be careful because there's a method to our magnets. They're kind of smart.
They're like, we got it now. We figured this out.
Exactly. But we usually engage the conversation collectively, and then we try to start with the oldest because he has influence. And then we ask questions. We explore the mind of the middle child because she's the most curious and vocal. And then we start with the youngest because he's most energetic and engaged. And so, and then we circle back for accountability and say, yo, how y'all doing? And so we had a conversation the other week 2 weeks ago about time management. And so they felt like a schedule was unnecessary. We're at home. A schedule is unnecessary. And so instead of shoving it down their throat, my wife and I just said, oh, okay, so y'all like discipline, like y'all know what y'all gonna do in a day. Y'all can get it done. Nobody needs to tell you nothing. So because it was technically spring break, we rocked with letting them quote unquote create their own schedule. We gave them a top. You're gonna have a devotion. With the family devotion, you got your chores, and then you can pick up your electronics just to see if they would self-engage, self-explore with all the tools that we were once over their shoulder. Kids will be kids. Right. They chilling. They like, oh yeah. So the week passed, and much of nothing was done. Well, we took it as a learning opportunity to explore a conversation. So then now we can reinforce their need for time management. Because if time management is not there, then none of it all goes away. Right. So now this week we'll have more reinforced schedules again. Okay. But we gave them a reprieve to kind of help them understand that when we're on you, we're not trying to force you. We're actually trying to show you that time management is a learned behavior, and your father gets paid to teach people, grown people, time management. Right. So trust me, you don't know what time management is as a child. You know what I'm saying? Right. All you know is when it's time to eat. Listen, it's an internal clock. Right. Exactly, right. So that's good. That's excellent. Thank you so much. One last point, and I'm a click it back over to Stephen. With couples, just give us a couple of things that couples can do just to stay engaged with each other at a high level. Not because they're disengaged, but because, to your point, and with you and E, you're having to pay attention to the children 24/7 and make sure they're good and keep them engaged and create a schedule for them. How are you weaving in making sure you and your wife stay connected? For Demi and I, it's easy. We live a quarantine life, and we come in, before the stay in place order. When we come in, is she and I. So all the games, the fun, the outings is me and her. That's my girl, my girlfriend, it's everything. So we don't have children. So it's easy for us from scheduling to everything else. But for somebody that has children, particularly multiple children that are at different ages as you and E have, just give us a couple of things before we shift here that you and her do
to maintain a high level of engagement while you're engaging the rest of your village?
So good. I mean, I think it's just one word, and that's intentional. I mean, we are extremely intentional.
Hold on. That's a principal alert. Dun, 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 dun. We're going to get us a sound effect here soon. The word is intentional. I need everybody to type that on the screen right now, because if you're serious about having a high quality virtual village that engages at a high level and where nobody feels isolated, nobody's left in the garbage can, to Stephen's point, you need to be intentional. Go ahead, Jay, talk about that.
And so, like you and I discussed before, you can't be everything. You can't give everything to everybody, but
right.
You give everybody what they need. You know what I'm saying?
Good. Say that one more time, because somebody just wrote that down. Say it one more time.
You can't be everything to everybody, but you can give everybody everything they need. At that one point in time. And so my wife and I talked about this. You can watch on Marriage Monday on my YouTube channel. No shameless plug, real talk.
No,
that on my YouTube channel. Yes. We talked about this level of intentionality, and we've always, because my wife and I work together in ministry and in life, we've always created boundaries and certain levels of intentionalities. We have what's called parent time. You know what I'm saying? Unlike most households, our kids are up to whenever they want to be up. If they up, they're not up in our space. They might be up in their room, or they might be up among themselves, but they're not up with us. You understand what I'm saying? And so there comes a moment in time for the wind down when showers have been had, prayers have been prayed, last snacks have been snacked, the kitchen has been closed, and off to your suite you go. And we will have some intentional parent time. And so we work through the day interactively with each other, engaging with each other, but intentionally in the evening, there is a quiet time in our house. Our house settles, our phone don't ring, our in-laws know, our friends know, our relationship. If our phone rings after a certain time, it's an emergency.
Right.
There's an issue. We are like, what? Because we have created those boundaries in our home and in our village, our extended village, that typically they respect those boundaries. And so my wife and I, we have that connect point in the evening and in the morning when we wake up. And then Wednesdays, our family days, Wednesday, because we live a life. And I learned this principle from your father, because we live a life that will always have to end up being quality over quantity. So we have very intentionality on Wednesdays to carving out time, throwing the phone away, putting it somewhere else, and being with the family so their love tank is full.
Jay, slow motion that right there, because you said a whole series in 30 seconds right there. And that whole issue of quality over quantity, slow motion on that, and unpack it a little bit. So, because I think that's so important for people to understand. We live in this world where we think it's about how much. We're obsessed with accumulation. Correct. To the point that we don't assimilate. You know what I'm saying? We don't make real connection. I'm gonna be a people gatherer. I'm a stuff gatherer. I'm a title gatherer. I'm and we're always gathering, but gathering doesn't mean you're growing.
That's right.
Yeah. So speak to that about the quality and how.
Yeah, I mean, because of the busyness, even before the quarantine of our schedules, of our traveling, of ministry, of preaching, of mentoring, all the stuff we do, our children, we have to make them a priority in the sense of, every day I'm a father, and every day I'm available, and every day you can have what you need, and every day you can talk to me, you can reach me, you have phones, blah, 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 blah. But on Wednesday, I want my whole family to understand this is the day where we do a solid check-in. We do it on Wednesdays and Sundays and Wednesdays. But Wednesdays, this is the pause for the cause. While they were in school, my wife and I, this is our date day. You know what I'm saying? In the afternoon, we hang out all day. And then in the evening, we cook dinner together, and we talking and we laughing. And I think that quality over quantity has created a balance that that even taught our children to have a healthy interdependence for us, but also they're not super needy. You know what I'm saying? They know how to get what they need when they need it, and they know how to find, they got their own passions. They got their own passions, they got their own world, they got their own friends. And I think what we learned even in interacting with them is it doesn't matter too, as long as when they approach you or when they need you, you give them your undivided, you know. Particularly my youngest son, for example, when he's in my space, I try to pause what I'm doing, put my phone down. Just, he only wants 3 minutes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if he gets his 3 minutes and it's just me and him, he's off and going on to do whatever he's gonna do, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm sharing that time with him, then he starts to feel a sense of unimportant or a sense of disconnection or whatever. And so I'm mindful when he comes in my space that it's not a bother and it's not going to be long. I can give him quality even though I can't give him quantity. You know what I'm saying? And he respects that. Everybody then starts to respect the boundaries that's shaped in the home. And you just do that with everybody in all space and pick some time, some uninterrupted time to give your family and treat your family like it is the highest priority, because it is, and give it the same energy you would give a business plan or a ministry plan or a workload, and really be intentional with that. It will give you the fruit that it needs, and the evidence. And you as my friend and brother, my best friend and brother, has when I look at your family dynamic and I see how mom and dad did that development space with you guys, I'm not seeing the more well-rounded 13 individuals that got their own genius and their own identity and their own space, that understand the hierarchy, that knows who goes at what, that knows how to yield back and forth to whatever, that still got the full balance of it all. And that came while planting churches and leading and being in politics and all that. And that just came with some real intentionality and some growth and some development. So mom and dad can do it with 13. I think me and E could try to do it with 3. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this is great. Are you going to hang out with us for a little bit?
Sure, yeah.
You got a little time? Yeah, just stay here because you're contributing. Stephen?
Sure.
Just you started this, by the way, Stephen, with your Sesame Street analogy. So I'm blaming you.
Oh, his fault.
Yeah, this is amazing. So Stephen, talk to us before we get into this last part.
Well, let me stay in that vein of childhood and what I watched on television, because another favorite show was Mr. Rogers.
Wow.
And of course, he would kick things off with that famous song he sang, "It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Beautiful Day for a Neighbor, Won't You Be Mine, Won't You Be Mine." And so last week with us talking about the anatomy of friendship, and this week we're talking about creating this virtual village. We have to come to this understanding of who's all in our neighborhood, and the fact that everybody from a biblical lens is our neighbor. I think this quarantine period has helped us to move more towards a place of being humans and expressing humanity, and recognizing that skin color and denomination, none of that stuff matters. We all died. We all can catch COVID-19.
Right.
It takes a collective community coming together, everybody playing their role, playing their part, for us to make it, to survive and to thrive. So Rick, if you could decompose for us what types of people we need in our neighborhood, because some neighborhoods are healthy, some neighborhoods are unhealthy in the landscape of our city even. So help us to understand what a healthy neighborhood looks like, what it's composed of, what it's made up of.
So good.
So I'm gonna call this segment "The Hood's Gone Virtual." Okay, so I want to talk to you about building a vibrant virtual village. That's what I want to talk about. There are 3 types of people. If you can count the 3, just the 3 guys you see here, they actually represent, not only do they represent, but all 3 of us embody these 3 characteristics, which is a rare and treasured find. So if you're watching this conversation, you're in the right place. You're about to get the hood you need. You're in the right hood to get the tools you need so that your life can be full of vision and it can be vibrant. And guys, I want you all to contribute to this as I go through these points. But the first, there are 3 types of people you need in your hood if you're going to have a vibrant virtual village. And this is dealing with your family construct. This is dealing with your friendship construct. This is dealing with your collegial construct with colleagues, whatever context of relationship you're dealing with. There are 3 types of people that you need. Number 1, you need somebody in your hood who's a catalyst. You need a catalyst. What is a catalyst? A catalyst is somebody, I call them a potential agitator. That's what a catalyst is. They are a potential agitator. Their purpose in your life, I can't say that, is to aggravate the potential out of you. You can put whatever word you want to put in the place of potential.
Right.
But their purpose is to aggravate the potential out of you, to not allow you to rest beneath your best.
Yeah.
Let's get that. That's what a catalyst is. A catalyst is somebody that comes into your life who will not allow you to rest beneath your best. And so a catalyst is somebody that encourages your potential. How do they do that? They do that primarily by facilitating a process to help you answer your why, your WHY. That's what a catalyst is. A catalyst is somebody that comes into your life and their purpose is to help you discover your why. Why am I here? Why do I keep having this desire to do this? Why is it that this opportunity keeps coming toward me? Why am I attracting these people? A catalyst will help to bring definition to your desires.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and it's so critical. So you got to identify, if you don't already have somebody in your virtual village who's a catalyst, well, let this conversation, let this podcast serve as that place.
Let me jump in.
Yes.
I think sometimes people misdiagnose who the catalyst is. Sometimes it is your enemy.
That's good.
It is your Sanhedrin council.
That's good.
It's those people that bug the hell out of you and like get on your nerve. That coworker that you really can't stand. That's the person that's probably really pushing you towards your purpose or helping you to define, understand what your purpose is.
Yeah, because that aggravation can come from positive or negative places, right? And that's what we don't understand. Sometimes we can miss what we need because it doesn't look the way we want it to look.
Exactly.
But if it's bringing you to a place where it's causing angst for advancement, then that's a catalyst.
That's good.
That's somebody you need. So that's the first person you need if you're going to have a sustainable, and I think that's the key word. If you're going to have a sustainable virtual village that's affirming your life, adding to your life, you got to have a catalyst. The second person you need in your virtual village is you need a collaborator. Now, this collaborator, this is so critical because in order for somebody to collaborate with you, they've got to see the full value of who you are. Watch it. I'm not done yet. And not be intimidated
at all
with what you come with. That is the most, listen, because you have some folk that are imposters. They're collaborative imposters.
Yes.
They'll connect to you to get stuff from you just so they can abandon you and act like that what they got from you, they already had.
Yes, sir.
The power of...
Why are you talking about these senior pastors?
Oh, stop it.
Yikes.
The power of this brotherhood, the power of the relationships that are being represented in this conversation, it requires true collaboration. So you're hearing us as we talk, refer to each other or draw reference from one another in this conversation or from previous engagement. Why? Because that's the spirit of collaborators. Collaborators are secure in who they are, what they have, but watch this, they're secure in who you are and what you have. Yep. And so a collaborator engages your purpose. Here's what a collaborator...
Lane management too. They're good at lane management.
Yes.
Because you got to understand your subject matter expertise and stay in that lane.
Exactly.
Not walk into the other person's lane unless it's from a posture of asking questions rather than making statements.
Exactly. And I think people only do that out of insecurity.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you know what you're great at, just be great. You know what I'm saying? And do that. Here's what a collaborator does. If a catalyst helps you to answer the question of your why, a collaborator helps you to answer the question of your how. Because you can know what you have. Yeah. You can know why you're here, but that don't mean you know how to execute at a high level.
That's good.
And so it's very important. Bring a collaborator into your village so that they can show you how. Just like right now, technology is the new normal. And you may be a pastor or entrepreneur, an executive, and you say, I never really use Zoom or Skype or Restream, on a regular basis. Don't be afraid to bring somebody around you.
Correct.
I know what you don't know.
Right. Talk to them.
I know how.
Because you mentor leaders and leaders of leaders. Speak to this issue of collaboration and how important the how is.
Yeah,
because you got a lot of people on here say, I know why I'm doing it. I know what to do, but they're not doing it at the highest level, and they think they've got it figured out. Why do they need a collaborator?
You got it. I mean, you already said it, because collaborators teach you and help you understand how. It's like, it's the wisdom of staff and your weakness. Some people say whatever your weakness is, make it stronger, work harder at it, perfect it. Listen, I don't have time for that. I know what my strengths are. Whatever my weakness is, I'm going to make enough money in my strengths to hire my weaknesses.
Right.
Or if I can't hire in money, then relationship capacity or relationship equity, which is more expensive than money and more valuable than money.
Right.
I'm going to leverage the relationship so that I have a give and a win-win, not just a taking platform or a taking place, but that I can staff my weakness. I mean, that's the whole goal. Staff your weakness so you come off polished and look excellent, and nobody lacks anything in any space. So with the way you said it for the collaborator is so essential and so critical. You first have to understand where your weaknesses are, so you know what you're looking for, what you're reaching for, and you also have to know what your strengths are, so you know what to offer in the exchange, in the bartering process. You know what I'm saying? And I think something you said earlier with the catalyst is you have to also be secure enough to know that that in this exchange, that I can't be so insecure that if I'm giving something to you, I'm expecting you to give back to me what I gave you.
Yeah.
Because if you could give me back what I just gave you, then you had it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like you didn't have it, so I can't. I keep pouring out and giving that, and they'll never give it back. No, that maybe perhaps you give to this space and you water and you receive from another space. So this is why the hood work. You know what I'm saying? The virtual hood works because everybody got everything that everybody got that they need, and everybody know their roles that they play, and they know how to give and receive.
We're all preachers here, so of course we can't avoid a low-hanging biblical reference, but the Bible talks about in the epistles how every joint supplies what's needed. It was like the finger's not trying to be the elbow, and the elbow's not trying to be the foot. And that was to Stephen's point about staying in your lane.
Exactly.
In order that you got to have these people in your hood, because it helps to bring definition to your life, and you're able to find your groove. You're able to find the groove. It is nothing worse than going in a hood and looking like you don't belong there.
Everybody know.
Right. So we want your hood to work right. So number one, you got to have a catalyst. They encourage your potential. They help you to answer the question of your why. You have to have a collaborator. A collaborator engages your purpose. They help you to refine that passion so that that fire can be more impactful. They help you to develop your how. And then last, if you're going to have a vibrant virtual village, if you're going to have the right hood, you need a cultivator. This is very, very critical. Got your catalyst. They help you to see what you had in you. You got your collaborator. They showed you how to work what you've got. But if you're going to stay on the cutting edge, if you're going to maximize potential, mobilize purpose, and multiply possibilities, you need a cultivator in your hood. What's the purpose of a cultivator? A cultivator helps you to expand your productivity. In other words, a cultivator comes alongside you and say, listen, I see what you're working with. You're doing a great job, but I see some other paths here that if you just tweak this right here, man, you'll blow it up. And again, notice each of these require another level of security, another level of emotional intelligence, another level of psychological equilibrium. The things that we're giving you are the things that are necessary for leaders. If you're somebody who say, look, I'm just managing my life. I'm gonna just ride out this quarantine until things get back to where they were. News alert, it ain't happening.
It ain't happening. We're not going back.
Excuse my colloquial. It ain't happening. Again, normal will never be normal again without new in front of it.
Correct.
Everything's a new normal. So you got to have a cultivator. A cultivator expands your productivity. What question does a cultivator answer? I'm glad you asked. A cultivator answers the question of where do I go from here? And if we're honest about it, that's the question every leader is asking right now in the middle of this quarantine while we're trying to change pandemic to possibility. Where do we go from here? You've got to have a cultivator. Now let me tell you, a cultivator is a catalyst on Prozac.
Yeah.
Because a cultivator would take all the great stuff you did and say, you know what, that ain't nothing. They're not being condescending.
Right.
More.
They're challenging you. They're saying, look, you've got more than what you showed. And I realize in the circle you in, they're good with that. But you got more than that. I mean, Jay can tell you, we do it to each other. You know, we're challenged. Stephen can tell you, we'll talk. And here's what's interesting. When you're securing yourself, you solicit and ask for those connected to you to be cultivators. Hey, man, what do you think about this?
Yes.
You know, what else can I do with this? You want that evaluation and that constructive critique because you realize I've got more than what I have. And so in recap and encapsulation, here are the three people you need in your hood if you're going to have a vibrant virtual village. Number one, you need a catalyst, somebody to encourage your potential, help you to answer the question, why are you here? Number two, you need a collaborator, somebody to engage you in your purpose and help you to answer the question of how to do it best. And then number three, you need a cultivator, somebody to expand your productivity and helps you to see where to go from here so you can reach the full length and breadth of whatever it is you're called to do to make an impact in the world.
Rick, I just think that you dropped a bomb for next week.
Okay.
So next week, we're going to talk about mentorship because that connects
to
that piece. That's where we got to go with this because too many people have misused and abused this whole mentee-mentor relationship. And they don't have the right people to serve as catalyst on Prozac to take them to that next place.
Right.
They end up getting pimped and used and abused, and it's problematic. So let's hit that next week.
Yeah, they don't qualify to mentor.
Yes, sir.
That's what they have to do. You can never be mentored by a person who's missed their moment.
Wait, say that really? Dun 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 dun. I need everybody to stop right now. Get your pen out. Go to your notes section. Say that one more time, please. Slow. You a DJ. Say it slow.
I just said you can't be mentored by someone who missed their moment. They will compete with you.
It's time for the benediction.
I want to ask a question. I'm going to ask my question. So why are people trying to mentor? Stephen, I'm sorry. This is a teaser for next week. Why are people trying to mentor folk who missed their moment? Oh, they're trying to live vicariously through them?
Exactly.
Okay. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. So you got to come back next week.
And mentees sometimes will reach for a mentor because they see their accomplishments in a sense without validating or verifying the process of them acquiring those accomplishments. Right. And so therefore you looking at the trinkets thinking that they're secure, but they might be really insecure. Right. And then they only come to try to develop you. And if they miss their moment, it's only gonna go so far. I mean, it's next week, so I ain't gonna lean in. I'm gonna watch so I can listen to what y'all say.
I think you'll be coming back.
I just thought that I'd drop that little one in there because
you'll be coming back next week.
Unfortunately, I've seen that happen so many times, and it's heartbreaking. You know what I'm saying? And that's how your 3 C's end up getting turned inside out. And
right.
You know what I'm saying? So
they end up turning into something malignant.
Exactly. The qualifier, we always talk about how the mentor got to qualify the mentee, you know what I'm saying, which is necessary. But the mentees have to become more wise in how you qualify the mentor also.
Okay, so Dr. Glenn will be back next week. It's unanimous. All in favor, say aye. So he'll be back with us next week, and Thurston will be leading us through this conversation next. You don't want to miss it, I promise you. Jay,
Jermone,
how can people get in touch with you? Go ahead.
What'd you say?
We were asking the same question at the same time. Rick.
Well, you go ahead. Stephen, go ahead. This is how we flow. It's just organic. Stephen, take it, man. I'm
Yes,
gonna back.
Dr. Glenn, I wanted the people know how they can follow you, stay in contact with you, reach you.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, everybody can reach me at my name, JermoneGlenn, not Jerome. My dad's an intellectual creative, so he found himself to, give me my own space. So he gave me my own name, JerMone, JermoneGlenn, and it's on all platforms. That's me on YouTube. That's me on IG. That's me on Facebook, Dr. Jermone T. Glenn. But you put my name in, the search will come up. I'm just here pouring, trying to help people see purpose in the middle of all this pandemic. So, man, thanks for inviting me on your platform, you guys. What you're doing is phenomenal. I love listening to you guys, and everybody should listen to you guys because you're smart and you have a lot to say. And I don't mean that with any, sarcasm whatsoever. You guys are intelligent. You're on the pulse of what's going on, and a lot can be gleaned from your collective wisdom and experience. So thank you for letting me chime in and just give voice to the moment. And it's a pleasure to be here because, the future is here. The future is now.
It's here. And thank you for your brilliant contribution. So you mentioned about you and your wife do some video podcasts as well. Tell us about that, when they come on, and also give us your website if people want to get in touch with you for consulting and all of that.
Got you. Yeah. Monday nights is Marriage Monday. Every Monday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. We do a conversation for an hour long. Relationship coaching. It is for the intent of married people, but single people are on there. But when they come on, they know we're getting you ready for marriage, not for dating, not for nothing else. This is we trying to help you close the deal and keep your marriage healthy. So that's every Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. And my website is JermoneGlenn.com, JermoneGlenn.com. So that's where everything is centralized: leadership development, coaching, relationship development, and coaching. So grateful, thankful. Yep.
Thank you, man. Ricky, you're doing a piece on Thursday nights.
Yes. So it's called Life Talks, Thursday at 8 p.m. I'm on this dinosaur series. So this week I talked about don't dance with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And this coming Thursday, you don't want to miss it at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm talking about the DNA of a dinosaur killer.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
sound like a setup for Saturday, Thurston.
Yeah, it
exactly
is.
That.
So the DNA of a dinosaur killer at 8 p.m. And dinosaur deals with old structures. On this past Thursday, I talked about the difference in strategies and systems, and the fact that strategies don't exist to support systems. Systems exist to support strategies.
Yeah.
So I talk about the DNA that's necessary to dismantle old systems.
Yeah.
And support new ideas. So
that's what you on right now, huh?
That's what I'm on right now.
We out here being disruptors. That's it. It's in our DNA.
So Stephen, you have a conversation on Tuesdays. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Tuesday, Mirror Moments. We're back in action. For those who've been asking when the Mirror Moments coming back, we're back in action. We're going to be on at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. on Tuesday, Mirror Moments. I'll be in a relationship-focused vein rather than leadership this Tuesday. I've gotten several requests for some insight on how couples have been sequestered together. They're in the same space, but yet still feel lonely. So I think I'm going to dive into that and help those who are in relationship to handle that loneliness aspect of their relationship.
So we got you covered. Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night, and then Saturday. Of course, we're here. The revolution will not be televised. It will be streamed. All of these guys are authors. All of them have amazing books out. Dr. Glenn gave you his website. Stephen's website is StephenThurston.com. You can go to my website, RickyAllmon.org. And also, if you want to receive real-time notifications about this conversation, just text Impact Life. Somebody put it on the screen, all caps, Impact Life, IMPACT LIFE to 31996. Text Impact Life to 31996. Listen, go over to the Facebook group. All of us are members of the Facebook group. So go over to the Revolution Will Not Be Televised. It will be streamed Facebook group. Join now.
Yes.
Because I think all three of us, Dr. Glenn has kids, so he may have to go. But if he's not able to join us, we'll end this conversation. And Stephen and I'll come over there. If Dr. Glenn has a moment, he'll come. We're going to have a candid conversation. So, but you have to be a part of the group. It's not going to stream on the platform you're on now unless you're a part of the group. Come over there. We're going to stay on for about 10 minutes just answering questions. Yeah. But you have to be in the group to come in. So, and you have to answer the questions.
Answer the questions to get in the group.
Stephen, I don't know why they just disobedient. They don't want to answer the questions. Answer them 3 little questions. They paltry questions.
Right. I don't like answering questions.
They don't want to answer questions.
They want questions answered. They want questions answered, but they don't want to answer questions.
See what
the gate is narrow. We can't
really, Jay? Really, Jay? You just had to create a whole nother conversation? Okay. This has been amazing. Stephen, you have any closing remarks?
No, I cannot come behind any of that. It is finished.
The doors of the church are open. Let's bow our heads. Hey, guys, thank you. So, Jay, you're back next week.
Okay.
So tell your village you got an appointment, even if you don't stay on the whole time, but we want you to come back. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. It was, what you shared was invaluable. You can't put a price tag on it. It was beyond measure. We appreciate it. Everybody have a great day. Come meet us over there in the club. We about to light the club up.
That's it.
In the Facebook group. Talk to you later.
Peace out.